Today I'll cover May 2024 ICT paper 1. So let's continue with the question, which is like Joe worked as a radio show presenter, and the question is like Joe streams a radio show online. State one type of input device that would be used to capture Joe's voice. So obviously, what device that we use to capture our voice? It is a microphone, right? So the answer for this question will be microphone. Then Joe must reduce latency when connecting an input device to a computer. Which one of this is the best choice for connecting for this? So NFC and Wi-Fi is not the one we can able to connect it, right? So for that thing, we can, for the Bluetooth we can use the Bluetooth to actually connect some of the input device as a microphone. But the thing is that USB, if we use USB, it is one of the thing that is considered as a wire connection. So there is a more chances that it can reduce latency. So based on that, we can choose question number C. Then which one of this is the effect of latency? So what does it mean by latency? Latency means a delayed, right? So when you are sending some of the information from client to server, suppose server, during that time, how much time it will take to go to the server and come back to the client. So the time it delayed, that one is called latency. So obviously the answer will be sound delayed. So which is answer A. Describe what is mean by streaming. So what is mean by streaming? So when we see YouTube video or many of the video that is play online, during that time we can see that at the portion where we can see the timeline of the recording of the video, during there we can see that there is some of the white portion line is coming above, right? And then we can see the playing option, that the playing line, that the line is showing that this record is playing for 3 seconds, similar like that. So this white portion is actually represent as a streaming option. So streaming is like they are just downloading just a part of the audio. So during the time you played, that time you don't need to wait, right? You don't need to wait for the whole video to download first, then you can able to play. So what it do, it's like they are downloading some of the portion of the video. So when you are seeing the video, you don't have to wait, you can continuously see the video, and beside that they are also downloading part of the video as well. So the answer for this question is downloading just a part of the audio so it can be right away without waiting for the whole thing to finish, right? Now, state the type of network required to stream the show to listener outside of Joe's LAN. So obviously outside of Joe's LAN, which is a wide area network. Explain one way copyright legislation affect how the listener can use a recording of Joe's show. So obviously the copyright legislation provide you the right that your recording can't able to copy or share by other people, right? So if they share, then they have to provide fine for these things. So go through the books and identify what does it mean and what it says there. So the answer for this question is limits the illegal recording, copying or sharing of the media. Since it is a legal protection without JOS permission. Then question number F is JOS computer has 8 GB byte of RAM. Each recording uses 300 maybe byte of RAM, right? So construct an expression to show how many recording can be stored in RAM at once. So for these things, first of all, we need to do the division, which is like 8, because this is the computer RAM and each recording is, this is the computer RAM and each recording uses this maybe byte, right? So it should be 8 divided by 3, but due to we have a GB byte and that one is a maybe byte, so what does it mean? We can give an expression which is a, for GB, if we want to take it, change it to GB to maybe, we can just use 1024. Now it becomes maybe byte, right? And this one divided by will be 3. So we can use these things. So which is like this way. Otherwise we can also do one thing. If you don't want to change it to maybe byte, you can just use it like 8 into sorry, this one is 300, right? We can use these things. Otherwise you can also do similar, like which is like 8 into, because when it comes to GB, which is like 1024 to the power cube, right, divided by 300 into 1024 square. So what happened when we cut this to, there is 1024 will remain, so the same thing will came up, divided by 300. So this is the answer. Now we'll move to the second question, which is which one of this is a benefit to Joe of increasing our RAM? So what's the difference between like RAM and the CPU and the normal storage, the secondary storage? The thing is that when we installing any of the application, that application take the space inside the secondary storage, right? But when the load, during the time of loading, they load on RAM. Okay, so what happen if I have a less storage in my RAM during that time? If the load storage is more like larger during that time, if I have 4 GB RAM and I already open like 3 to 5 application and it takes all my RAM, then my PC will be quite slower. So during that time I will do, I need to close some of the application. So it will not increase processor speed. No, recording quality will be higher. This one also not, right? There is less need to backup recording. No, because whatever we do, we need to do the backup. He does not have to save recording as frequently, right? Because he can just open it or do the recording. Still his PC will be quite faster because he have a large RAM. So the answer for this question will be A. Now, state 2 benefit of using storage rather than RAM to save the radio. So save the radio shows. So 2 benefit of using storage, obviously, because storage, when we have the storage, we can able to save the data, but in RAM we can't able to save the data, right? So we state 2 way of using storage rather than RAM to save the radio show. So for this one we can write So we have to write 2 points. So one of the point will be having more storage allows for additional shows to be saved. Providing greater flexibility. Okay, then for the number point is like the storage is non-volatile meaning that data remain intact even when the device is power off. Okay, then we'll move to the next question, which is which one of this does the A stand for? Random access memory. I think this one is quite easier. So say the reason why RAM and ROM are called random, because they save the data randomly. They are not organized the data, or they are not save the data organizedly. Okay, so randomly, they whatever the space they are getting inside the RAM or ROM, they are just save it like that way, like here. So that's what it's called. Data does not need to be stored in a sequential order. Now the next question is the audio data is processed. State how the speed of a processor is measured. So in your book you can get that there is a table where you can able to see that they provide you a number of way we can able to identify the speed of a processor, which is a cycle per second, right? Then it can be gigahertz or maybe megahertz, or it can be cycles per second. State one features of a laptop that provide expansion capability for audio processing. So how we can expand the audio, not the audio, even we can also expand our storage as well, right? We can use some external storage as well. So for they're saying that expansion capability for audio processing, so for that thing we obviously can use USB port. By using USB port we can expand the audio processing. The listener can subscribe to get notification about new shows. State one risk to personal information when subscribing. So the risk is that like when we're subscribing, during that time, whatever the data we're providing in our account, like when you're creating a YouTube or Facebook, because mostly we do subscribe in YouTube, right? So whatever the details we provide in our YouTube profile, so when we subscribe, the owner of that channel can able to get our information. So there is an option of a data leaks, right? Personal data leaks. Describe one way a listener can secure their personal information. So what can be the way where a listener can able to secure their personal information? So for these things, we can suggest that they can use a password. They can use a password or maybe password pin, or they can also use some biometric data, which is a facial recognition, iris recognition, right? Biometric data for authentication. There are legal requirements for storing personal information, right? Because the company who are working with the personal data of the people like Facebook or Instagram, they have to go through some of the legal requirement because they're storing other people personal information. So explain to specific legal requirements you must comply when storing a listener personal information. So what type of legal requirements you need to follow when you are storing other people's information. So first off is like you need to agree for the specific data they only need, right? So you don't need to take other information of the people, only need to take the relevant information that needed for the subscription. And he also need to keep the data secure so that unauthorized people can able to access it. So the first question for the first point we can write, you must use data for specific agreed upon purposes. So that people only need to relevant information. And the other one is obviously he must process the data and keep it secure. To prevent unauthorized access, right? That's it. Now, the last question is like, describe who subscribe to Joe's show are shown other content they could subscribe to. So describe how an online service can offer the most relevant content to user. Like suppose if I like some of the song and then I subscribe to that channel, after that in my YouTube homepage I can able to see some of the similar song they're suggesting me, right? So how they can able to identify this, or how they're doing this, how the YouTube thinks are doing this. So for that thing they actually use a cookies, and the cookies are actually track or record our activity in the browser. So whatever it will be matched, the similar content, they will show it to us. So use cookies to track or record user activity which can be match with similar content. Okay. Question number 2 is Joe post a link to the show on an online community, right? Post a link. So explain one reason Joe does not upload posts that include videos when streaming a shows. So obviously the data of the video is quite higher compared to the audio data. So based on that, it will take much more time to upload. So maybe we can write it like that: data consumption is high when uploading because file size will be much greater, right? Will be much greater. Then which one of this is the best choice for social online community for Joe to use? So online gaming, virtual learning, and wiki is not actually goes with the point. He can use the social bookmarking. So social bookmarking help him to organize. There's option for store, and then he obviously share link of the web pages as well, because he uses to share the link, post a link, like share a link. So that's why we will choose social bookmarking. Anonymity is a threat to the safety of member of online communities. What is this? Does it mean by anonymity? Like when you're using online communities in Facebook, during that time we can see that some of the user post share about some of the information, but we can able to see their name or their Facebook profile, because they post it by using the anonymous, right, profile, similar like that, so where they are not revealing who they are. So that is one of the safety for online communities, like other people can able to see who this person actually is. So state one other threat to member of online community. So what can be the other threat? Like when we are posting something to online or sharing something to the online, what can be the other threat? The thing is that recently we can get a lot of negative comments, right? If someone want to do something good, still they will get a lot of bad comment. So one of the thing is troll, or it can be cyber bullying. Then describe one way that moderator can improve the safety of online community. So what the moderator is actually do, they have a number of admin for each and every big online community. So what the admin do, they actually monitor the post and user, and if they find out something bad, then they take action by flagging, reporting, or removing or even blocking that in user of the post, right? So what will be the answer for this one will be monitor, post, and user as well. Monitor, post, and user. They also take action by flagging, reporting, then removing, or blocking any inappropriate users or post, right? So state the purpose of an acceptable user policy. So what is the meaning of user policy? So when you are joining any of the community, they have some of the policy that's they have some of the rules that we have to agree, and then we can able to join the group. So it's like to set rules for user when communicating online, right? Or to improve online safety. So that means they're providing you some of the rules you have to accept, and then you can able to join the online community. So it's like to set the rules for user when communicating online. Describe how one key features of a social network is used to create communities. So this is one of the most common question. This question came in a number of the question paper. Yeah, 2 or 3 times it came. So the meaning of this, like, why we're creating the communities? So mostly we're creating the communities so the people with the same interest or the common interest, they can able to share the information. So this one is the ability to upload or post information who share similar interest, right? People find information online, right? Because nowadays we mostly use Google to find the information. So which one of these would negatively affect the fitness for purpose of information found in online community? So first of all, we have to understand what does it mean, fitness for the purpose. So fitness for purpose is when we're getting some of the data through online, that means that is we are actually getting the data which we are trusted it, right? We are trusting that the data is more reliable, accurate. So that one is considered as a fitness for purpose. That means the data must be accurate or reliable. Accurate or reliable, right? So here collaboration doesn't goes with the point. Encryption is like when you encrypt the data. Plagiarism, like when you copy some of the other things. So this is not going with the point. So the answer will be bias. So bias can negatively affect the fitness for purpose or information in inline communities, as it may distort or misrepresent facts, making the information less reliable or objective. So stage 2 method people can use to check the reliability of online information. So obviously if you want to check the reliability of the online information, you need to check the other source. Is the other source is saying the same thing or not? Or maybe you can also check the date of the information, because some of the information can be updated in the database before 20 years, right? So 20 years and now there's a big difference. So sometimes check the age of the information which is not out of date. So we can for this two we can use two of the things. So first of thing we can add like compare another source to check the information matches, right? And the second one is check the age of the information is not out of date. So which one of this can be used to avoid plagiarism? So it's like when you copy and paste when we use copy and paste, the information will be the same, so it considered as a plagiarism. So avoid plagiarism. When you use the copywriting, that one is also doesn't go with the point. Secondary source, no. So we can avoid the we can able to take some of the information from the book or the article, but during that time we have to use the paraphrasing or do some citation as well, where we are referring that where we get this from, where we're getting this data actually, right? So the answer will be paraphrasing. So when we're doing the paraphrasing, which involve rephrasing information in your own words, which can help avoid plagiarism as long as proper credit is given to the original source. Describe one way the features of an online community can improve the reach of Joe's post. So that means we have to give them information like how whatever the information or whatever the post that Joe is sharing, how it can be reached to other people as well. So for that thing, this one is the most easier thing, which is like user can share to friends and family, right? So this way Joe can able to reach more user. So it's like user can share the post to friends or family outside Joe's community. Which one of these should a user do to improve their online safety? So for online safety, downvote comments. This is not goes with enable location sharing. So if we share the location, then it is not considered with the improve the location, right? Online safety. Take regular break. No, when someone share less information, that actually help online safety, improve the online safety. So question number 3 is like Joe connects to different types of network. Joe connects to the internet. State the purpose of an ISP. So what's the meaning of ISP? ISP means Internet Service Provider, right? So what they do? They provide internet. That's it. So the answer will be to provide internet access or service. That's it. To provide internet access. That's it. Then Joe connects a laptop to a wireless access point. So what is a wireless access point? Wireless access point. Then state 2 additional component of a network required to connect the laptop the internet, right? So wireless access point actually to make the device wirelessly, and also it can able to extend the Wi-Fi, right? So for the 2 additional that we can able to connect the laptop to the internet, which is we need a router. One is router, the other one is network cable, or it can be modem, right? The easier one we can think as a network cable. We need network cable. Then done. Describe the role of a web browser when connecting to the internet. This one is actually the repeated question. It came before as well. So the browser take the HTML code, and then HTML is not considered as a code actually. Take the HTML is hypertext markup language, right? And then they display the content to the user. So the browser interprets the HTML and displays the content to the user. State one use of an IP address. So what is the use of an IP address? We are using the IP address to identify a device, or maybe to track a device, or it will ensuring that data is sent to that particular device, right? So we can just write it's just identifying a device. Device, or maybe the person who is using that particular device, right? So explain one benefit of using media access control rather than IP address. So if you consider about the IP address and media access control, we can able to change the IP address, but the media access control can't be able to change, because when a PC or maybe the physical device they are making during the manufacturing time, they are just assigning a code to the internet network network interface card, NIC card, which is a NIC card. So that one we can't able to change. So that's why this one is more reliable of identifying a device, because this one is a hard coded. So we can write it like this way: more reliable method of identifying a device, because MAC addresses are hard coded. Hard coded means you can able to change it, right? Joe uses network to stream his show. Give two types of wireless connectivity that Joe could use to connect a laptop to a smartphone. So what will be the connectivity? Think about the type of wave we learn in the book. So one will be obviously Joe uses network. So that means one will be Wi-Fi connectivity. The other one can be Bluetooth, right? Easy question to get 2 marks. Explain one reason why Joe must use a WAN to stream a show. Why we need a WAN? Because the broadcast is online, right? Based on that, we need to access the internet. So Joe needs access to the network, or maybe the internet, so access to the internet, because broadcast is online. Okay. Joe uses GPS. Which one of this statement about GPS is true? So it's true. Data must be sent to multiple satellite for accuracy. Multiple satellite, no. Data device cannot connect to network without GPS. No, without GPS device can connect, right? Without to a network without GPS. This one also not correct. GPS calculations require data from GPS satellite. No. So answer will be number D, which is the GPS system does not receive data from Joe's device. Which one of this one is the true one? Then we will move to the next question, which is, which one of this is a reason why Joe would use GPS? Obviously, why we're using GPS? We are using GPS to include location data, right? To prevent access to file, this one not true. To prevent a connection, not true. To connect a wide area, because we don't need GPS to connect a wide area network, so obviously it would be the number B. State one role of a server in a client server network. So what will be the thing? Describe one role of a server in a client-server network. So what is the example of a client-server? Client-server network is, you can think about Google is also one of the example of a client-server network. So what does it mean by server? Actually, the server is means where all the data are stored there, right? So think about the Google. So what the Google are doing, they have all the data and they manage the request from clients. So like whatever I want to know, I just search it to the Google and Google just give me that information. So this one is to serve, as a central repository and application, because in Google you can also get some of the application that is hosted online, right? And manage requests from clients. Explain one benefit of using a client-server network rather than a peer-to-peer network. Because peer-to-peer, one of the example of a peer-to-peer is torrent is the example of a peer-to-peer, whereas client server is the Google. So obviously Google give you more security because they have the user access right? So better security, because these are 2 marks, we'll write better security because of control of user access, right? Explain one benefit to Joe of using a VPN to connect to the radio station network. So we have to understand like why we're using the VPN. And VPN also have some premium, because some of the people are saying that VPN is not safe. Because VPN also have some free service and the paid service, right? So the paid service will obviously be better to use. It will give you more security. And beside that, the VPN is actually masking the IP address that we have based on the country location, right? So what the VPN is doing, like VPN changes the IP address, like that's why people can able to track you. So we can write it is increased security because data is encrypted, or maybe you can because IP is changed, right? Or IP is not visible. Increase security because IP address is not visible. So when you want to download anything from the torrent, you can use the VPN. So it will just hide your IP address, or maybe change your IP address to some other IP address. Joe's laptop uses a wire connection to the internet through broadband. So Joe's smartphone has mobile broadband connectivity. The laptop loses its connection to the internet. So describe one method Joe could use to keep the laptop online. So obviously Joe can use mobile hotspot via Bluetooth or maybe Wi-Fi to use its 3G 4G connection, right? So Joe can connect mobile hotspot via, it can be Bluetooth or can be Wi-Fi, to use its 3G or 4G connection, right? Joe check the new connection and gets this result. So the result is this one is the download speed, this one is the upload speed. So explain the impact this result have on the experience of Joe's audience. So what will be that? Because the upload speed is quite slower, right? So obviously there will be a buffering or delay because the upload speed is lower. So the audience may experience delays or buffering due to low data upload speed, right? Okay, so this is the end of question 3. We'll move to question 4 now. So Joe uses a laptop to record audio. So state which one of this would represent the minimum amount of data required to store a 1 hour uncompressed audio recording. That means we have to identify which one will be the larger. So obviously compared to this one will be the most larger, right? So this one will take the minimum amount of data. So answer will be GB byte. State one operating system function used during audio recording. So the thing is that what's the operating system do? This one is one of the most common thing, but they just mentioned the audio recording here as a, just give you some of the confusion here. But you just need to identify what is the task that operating system do. So obviously operating system is like they're doing the resource management, memory management, right? So you can just write here is a resource management. MENT management. Then it comes to explain one benefit to Joe of using open source audio recording software. So what does it mean by open source? Open source doesn't mean that it's free. It means the code is available. You can able to see the code, and beside that you can also do some modification after you download the code. Okay, so the source code is available to see or download, right? And can be customized, like you can customize based on your requirement. Done. This is one of the question which came a number of time. Explain two reason why Joe updates software. So we update software because of the usability and productivity, because when we update we get some of the new features, and beside that we also get some of the security improvement because each and every day new viruses are coming up, right? So when the viruses are coming up and during at the purpose of the operating system, their developer or their engineer also added some of the new code based on the new virus type. So that what happened when we are updating the software, we're improving the security because they added some of the new code in there. So it provides a more protected compared to the previous version. So the first thing we can write is to improve productivity. To improve productivity because new features can be added, right? It doesn't mean all the time they're added the new feature. Sometimes they are just improving the usability of the system as well. So the other one is to improve security because errors can be corrected, or maybe bugs can be, or maybe here because errors corrected. So question number E is like Joe traveled to play music at venues around the country and takes a music collection. Discuss the benefit and drawback of the different storage media types available to you. You should consider this point in your response. Different type of storage media, like what type of storage media that you read in your books. One is a SSD, then flash drive, HDD, right, optical disk. Then we also learn about the tape storage, cloud storage. This is the storage. And what is the portable, like compared to all, which is better as a portable, and the capacity. Then they already mentioned you the point, you just need to describe based on that. So the answer will be, okay, so the answer of this question will be like, when we came up with the 8-mark question, during that time we always have to remember like there will be a short introduction, and they already provide us the point like what we have to write, right? So first of all, what I did, when Joe travels to play music at various venues, he has several storage media option with each its benefit and drawback. So I just create a short introduction. Then I describe the first point, which is a different type of storage device. So which is like, Joe, different type of storage device are SSD, then HDD, flash drives, optical disk, which is CD or DVDs, right? Tape storage and cloud storage. So in this point, I already described like the type of devices that we have. Then we go with the portability. So flash drives and SSD are the best for travel, while HDD are less portable. Then they already mentioned about the capacity. So HDD offer the most storage for the cost, while SSD, because SSD is quite expensive. If you want to buy the more storage one, we can able to buy, but that one is quite expensive. And flash drive are more limited, right? The SSD and flash drive are more limited storage, because we actually don't need a faster speed for some of the file. We don't need all the time, right? Some of the file, like operating system, we actually need it to load faster. So when we are installing the operating system, we install it in our SSD. This is one of the reason. So that's why in the latest PC they have both HDD and SSD, and they only prefer some of the file that need faster access. Only that particular file they install it in the SSD. Otherwise, all the file that don't need a faster access, they just put it in the HDD. Then came up with the compatibility. So what's the meaning of compatibility? Is like flash drive and SSD are widely compatible, whereas optical media, like it will be suitable for all the devices, right? In the modern devices, they support mostly flash drive and SSD, because before we have a option for the optical disc, right? So where we can able to insert the disc of the CDs or DVD, and that they can able to read. But in the latest type of laptop, they don't have that disc option. So optical media may not be supported by modern devices. Durability. In terms of durability, SSD are the most durable, while optical media can deteriorate over time. Then this one is the conclusion, which is like, in conclusion, Joe should consider this factor to select the best storage solution for his music collection while on the go. So it means I already give him all the idea that I have, and it's his perspective to choose which one will be more preferable to him, right? So this is the end of question number 4. Then we'll move to question number 5. So question number 5 is like, Joe use of digital technologies has implication. So state 2 causes of digital divide. So what is the meaning of digital divide? Digital divide refers to the gap between individuals, communities, and countries that have access to digital technologies and the internet, and those that do not have, right, the internet access. So what can be the causes? So the first one can be the poverty, because some of the country are so poor they can able to afford the cost of the internet. The other one is lack of infrastructure, like they don't have that much power or the electricity. So maybe you can write is a lack of infrastructure. Example, power. Negative social impacts of limited availability of the internet. So like in the reason why they have limited access to the internet, or maybe they don't have the access to the internet, so what type of negative social impact they face. So it's like nowadays everything is online, right? All the learning material they are uploading it to online. So the thing is that when they are not getting the internet, they have the less opportunity to the education resources as well. So it is like reduce access to learning opportunities. So it reduces access to learning opportunity because education resources are moving increasingly online. And the other one is narrower culture understanding, like they don't have the other people culture or other country culture understanding because of the global reach of the internet, right? So question number C is like Joe's radio show is available online, and they're saying like explain to negative environmental impact on this. So this question is quite confusing. Like they're saying like show is available online, and then what will be the impact of this? So you have to think it like when it goes to the online, people need device to see it, right? So they need energy, and increase energy uses or resource uses. We can write it like increased energy use because device requires electricity. Require electricity. Or it can be because this is a simple thing, increase global warming because of use of fossil fuels. That's it. Increased global warming because of use of fossil fuel. Okay, now the last question, which is like Joe's show is available as a radio broadcast and also online, and discuss the reliability of broadcast information compared to the reliability of the information only available online. So during that time you have to consider three of the points, so which will be government oversight or regulation, responsibilities of user, and method available to verify information. So obviously this one is the 8-mark question. That means we need a short intro, then we need a body for where we need to mention this tree, then we need a conclusion. So the answer for this question will be, so the answer for this question is like this one that I write already here, which is the Joe show is available both as a radio broadcast and online, right? But the reliability of information can differ between this format. So this is the format that they gave us, which is a government oversight and regulation. So for that perspective, that I think like obviously when someone is broadcast by radio, that one will be much reliable compared to the online, because online anyone can able to post it, whereas if you consider about the radio, it needs some of the expert, and there is a more the government have a more permission there compared to the online, because online it's mostly for the general people. So radio broadcasts are usually regulated by the government, which helps ensure that the information shared is accurate and trustworthy. Online content has fewer rules, so there is a high chance of misinformation, right? When it comes to user responsibility, for online information, user have more responsible to judge if the content is reliable. Radio content is created by professional who follow standards, but online anyone can post information which may not be verified. Then comes to the method to available to verify information. Radio broadcast often include content checked by experts, so listener don't need to verify it by themselves, whereas that perspective of the Online, user may need to double check facts using other trusted source to ensure accuracy. So in a conclusion, we can say that radio broadcasts are usually more reliable because of strict regulation, while online information require user to check facts more carefully. So this is the end of the question paper 1 at May 2024. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you want to follow me, you can join my Discord. I also have WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram, so you can get the regular update of each and every of the paper that I'll be solving. Thank you for listening.